just off of the actions and just off of her comments that she had done made, I mean, it's you know, she is about to try to do any and everything to see him again before this happens, before she don't see him no more. So, you know what I'm saying? She is about to make it her business. Even if he don't want to see her, she don't want to see him.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I hope all is well.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
Good night. Caller, you're live. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, I'm calling, talking to Sharon.
Go right ahead.
Ma'am?
Go ahead. We can hear you.
I'm calling to talk about the incident about the officers.
Okay.
Yes, and you want what do you what I have to say?
Yes, we're listening. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Well, I want to know why don't they put this much effort that they have right now to the murders of the usual citizens?
Oh, now, so I see. I can't answer that question. I mean, I don't know. I'm just here to talk to these three young ladies that dialed 911 when the officer got killed. That would have to be another topic because I would have to have some officers and enforcement people in here to answer those questions.
But I feel sorry for what happened and everything. I know it's a bad thing and everything. But if they just take the time to put this much effort into other murders, I think there wouldn't be as many murders as it is going on today.
Okay. Well, you may have a point there.
And also, I don't think he was in his right mind when he did that. But if he did, when he was doing that, you have to be insane or out of your right mind to do something like that. And while people are sitting here saying F the crisis, the same crisis they saying F is the ones when they sound asleep in their bed, it's keeping everyone else from breaking into their house.
Yes, you're right, and keeping them safe. You're right. I agree with that. That one may have to be another topic because, like I say, we're basically here. I would like to honor these young ladies for actually making the call because at 2 o'clock in the morning, everyone usually is in their bed sleep. Had they not heard the gunshots and called 911, it's no telling how long those officers would have been laying out on the ground before someone actually came to their aid.
Exactly. And the people who would probably have rode by them is the same ones that probably would have had their houses broken into.
Yeah, you're probably correct. You're probably correct. Yes.
But I appreciate what these three women have done, and it just takes a big heart to do something like that in the time and situation of how everybody else is thinking towards the police. Because everyone don't have that kind of heart to go out and do that. Some people will either be scared or they'll be, well, kind of nasty, like, towards the police because of their past history. The past history, them two police, is probably not the same police that probably pulled somebody else over. They have a different heart and a different mindset toward everything else.
Yes, you're probably correct. You're correct. We just can't look at all officers being like that. You know, some of them have a heart, and some of them just be probably having a bad day or having problems at home, and they bring them to work with them. So we can't say, you know, yeah or nay while officers do what they do. They're doing their job, and some of them go over and beyond. Because one of the young men that is in my neighborhood works at Busch Gardens, and he came by my house last night. He said when he got off the bus, he was walking to my house to check on us to see how we was doing. Then he was going to go home, which is one of his everyday routines. And he said the officer, they went past and they biked up. They asked him what's his name. They asked him did he know some guy. He said no, I don't know him. So they was actually harassing him. So he said, well, let me get on the phone and call, my grandmother and let my grandmother know what's going on. Then they start asking more questions. They made him get off the phone. They say, hang the phone up. Then they were so nasty and rude when he came to my house last night. He was actually shaking. And I said, well, you know, they're trying to question and ask anybody questions, and they thought maybe you knew something, but it's just the way you do things. It's really the way you do things. But
Exactly.
all officers are not like that.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, once again, I want to thank y'all for what y'all have done, and because if you know it or not, y'all have helped this community as much as the officer have.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Because right now, the officer may not have, them officers may not have been there, but y'all was a good citizen in doing what y'all have done.
Yes. And I agree. And that's why I have them on my show. I'm the first to get them on the show, and I'm the first to gonna tell them I really thank them along with you all as a community saying thank you, because last night when we was downtown, one of the gentlemen recognized Renee by her hair. He said, I remember you, wasn't you the lady? And he said, yes. So the 911, 3 officers came over and they was talking to us. They talked to us about a good 10 or 15 minutes. Then they had to go back to get on the phones. But they walked up and say thank you. You had this attorney, Darrell Russo, out of St. Petersburg. He walked up and say thank you. Channel 10 interviewed them again. They say thank you. Everyone is actually thinking it, because like I say, we don't know how long those officers would have laid there in their own blood and bled until someone came to check on them.
And they have all these things to say, but don't nobody know what a family is going through right now. Their family may be hurt to their heart. I know they hurt to their heart, but everybody want to look at this as just him, and they probably looking at it like he's growing up bad. You can only bring somebody to the water, but you can't make them drink. You know, but I just want to say thank you to y'all, and y'all have a good night.
All right,
You too.
You too.
Been putting some deep talking to the thing.
All right, thank you for calling.
No problem.
Good night. Caller, you're live.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm calling in reference to the questions that you have going on the show.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
My question is, have anybody ever considered why was Dante, since he was a passenger in the car, why was he being asked for his ID, his identification?
No, I can't say that, but the other morning when I was driving around, an officer pulled me over, because if you're going down a street that they had blocked off, they're shining this bright light in your face. I was driving, my son was a passenger, and then his friend was behind me, and the officer had me to roll the back window down, and he looked at my son and said, where's your ID? And I said, this is not who you're looking for. We just left from home. He didn't ask me for my ID as a driver. He didn't ask my son's friend Terrell for ID. He asked my son for ID, and my son pulled out his ID and handed it to him. I don't know why, and he didn't even ask me for anything. I didn't even have any license. I just jumped in the car with no shoes on, grabbed my keys, and went to see what was going on in the neighborhood. So, I mean, I don't know why they actually asked him for his ID, which is a good question.
Yes, because someone told me that it's a new law that if someone gets pulled over and they don't have the proper registration for their car, then they can ask anyone in the car for their identification. But, you know, no one was actually there, and we don't know what happened. You know, my heart does go out to the officers. But we have to also look at the fact that every time, as you know, as a community of black folks, every time we try to have something, whether it's a block party or, you know, anything that we try to do, we're constantly harassed. And at certain times, it may cause somebody to retaliate, you know. And I do feel sorry, not as well as for the officers, but for his mother and his family as well. You know, I don't condone what he did, but nobody was actually there to know what happened. And I've been harassed. I've had family members been harassed. I have a nephew that doesn't even have a record that's been pulled over and harassed, and you know, and he was scared to death for his life. So I think that's why a lot of people are really bitter toward the, you know, police, because of the way that they handle, you know, people in the community. And now, you know, it's like they're at a point where they need our help, you know, turn this person in, but people are just so bitter with the way that they treat the community. So, you know, and it's not, you know, and I really feel sorry for those officers. I don't know those officers, but we have to also look at, and we have to, you know, examine the situation to find out what happened in that case. Why was he asked for his ID? And it seems like he was cooperating because he gave his ID. And also, you know, you look at the fact that he had a warrant. He was released from prison with that warrant. So, we don't know exactly what happened with his situation. They painted him up to be this terrible person. But I know he, committed a crime, but we don't really know what happened in his situation, what drove him to just go off the deep end like that.
Yes.
So I know it had to be something that would just, you got a misdemeanor warrant and you just go off the deep end and you shoot 2 officers. I don't know. I know I've witnessed people being mishandled by officers, and, I don't know what would lead him to do that, but I think it was some other things that hasn't been discussed, as, brought to the light what happened to him as well. And we also need to, find out why was he out, asked for his ID, and, what was going on with him as well. He might have been a victim of, racial profile. He might have been a victim of being harassed. We don't know what went on with him. So, our hearts can go out to the officers, but we also have to, send up some prayers for his family and his situation. Ask God to watch over him and deal with him. We don't know his thoughts, what his mind was, what his mind frame was, what they did to trigger him.
Okay.
And that's, that's all that, what I have to say. I mean, I'm not siding with what he done. I've experienced some, harsh things that went down with the police, and, you want to consider them as your friend, and yes, we do call them, but, they've done so many things, they've killed blacks in the community, they've done things as well. And now, it's all of a sudden, turn this person in for $95,000, turn this person in, they want everybody to help them in the community. But they have to be willing to work with the community as well, as when we get ready to have an event, all of a sudden our events get closed down, but other people can do whatever they want to do. But as soon as we have a block party, as soon as we do something, they come in and shut it down. So that's why people are so ill, and they're venting out with the police because of the way that they handle the community.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a good night. Caller, you're live.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. I just wanted to say that I am very proud of the ladies that you have on your show tonight.
Thank you.
And they are good women, and they should never doubt for 1 second that second guess what they did, because it is in their heart. They're good women. I would be so proud to know these women. And we might be worlds apart. I don't come from Tampa. I come from New York. But I do come from the projects from New York and Rockaway. And it's just, maybe I had a little different breaks in life. But these are women just like me. We have a lot in common. And I'm sure our paths will cross someday, and I would be proud to know them. Just very proud to know them. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thanks for calling. And I'd like to take a special moment to present each one of these women's, what this plaque here says is in appreciation to the unsung hero, Dolores. I have each one of them named. For your help to our fallen officers and to our community, June 29, 2010. And at the bottom, it's from Shirlene Tells It Like It Is. And it's also from Darren Russo. Last night when I was down talking to him, I told him that I was going to have these ladies on my show tonight. And he told me that he really wanted to help out. So what he did in return is purchase these for me, because I told him I was going to purchase these. He purchased these for me and told me to let y'all know he really appreciated everything you all done. So Dolores, this is from you.
Thank you, Dara.
You're welcome. And this is for you.
Thank you.
And Renee, this is for you. And the phone lines is ringing. We will continue to answer
so,
calls.
so much.
We have 1 more minute on the air. But I would like to thank and appreciate each and every one of you all for what you all have done on June 29th for these officers. And I would like to thank each and every caller for calling in. And let's work together, and let's work together as one. And thank you all so much. We're going to go to the phone lines. Caller, you're live.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Shirlene. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for doing the show.
Uh-huh.
But I thought we talked about that today.
Oh,
And I
Stephanie.
really appreciate it.